Welcome back to ELH4X4 Doing Stuff, part 2 of rocker panels. What we got to do is, to do this the right way, we got to get this box out of the way. And since this is a step side, we got a fastener here by the fuel tank ground strap. There's another fastener there. Okay, so just two up front, one back here, which is kind of behind this trailer hitch. So we got to get the trailer hitch out of the way. We may have to remove the bumper. So all the fasteners are towards the back. Maybe unplug some of this stuff here, the wiring harness. And then the other side, there's a bolt up top for the box there. Well, yep, it looks like there's a fastener right here. So I guess there's 8 bolts total. Maybe 6, let me see. Sorry for all the movement. Oh, there is a fastener right here, but it's blocked by somebody decided to put an exhaust hanger there. So we got to get this exhaust hanger out of the way so we can get access to the bolt there. No, that ain't. All right, so that's what we got to do. We got to get the box out of the way so we can do the cab corners. All right, I'll show you what we got so far. Bear with me, there's going to be a little bit of movement in this, okay? So we got one fastener here by the fuel neck. So we got a fastener in front of the fuel neck and behind the fuel neck. Right here, right above the leaf spring. And then we go to the back. Right, we got a fastener right here, so just forward of the leaf spring perch. And then we got another one right behind the leaf spring perch. So we got 8 bolts total. And it's going to be the same on both sides. All right, so the only difference is that there's no fuel neck. But we got the bed loose. Oh, I disconnected the main harness and the one going to the bumper because I am having a very difficult time getting this. There's some hardware up at the top for the trailer hitch and the bumper. So what I'm thinking is that when it comes time to take the bed off, I'll worry about getting those fasteners once the bed is out of the way. Right, and then I'll take the bumper off, and that'll be one less thing to worry about when it comes time to reassemble. So we still have the ground strap for the fuel neck and the 3 fasteners for the filler neck. All right. And this grounding strap right here, we need to disconnect. And I'll do that at the frame. And then this thing's getting ready to pull back so we can get to the cab corner. Do stuff the right way. Instead of just patching it. We're going to pull this inner trim out and we're going to replace the whole rocker arm. That way it's less welding. All I got to do is just a couple of plug welds up top and underneath and we're good to go. All right, so I'm going to remove these fasteners. I got a cherry picker set up. I still have to go underneath and get that grounding strap. Alright, so I'm going to go underneath and get that grounding strap stand. Alright, I'm able to get away with this because I have an extension right there that I used for pulling the body off of the frame for the Corvette. But alright, so this thing's a little bit front heavy. All right, we got a vent hose that I just have wrapped around. So let me see if I can get you set up. Is that all right? A little bit of sun glare. All right. Let's see how much tension is on that. Nope, nothing at all. All right, that's free and clear. Like I said, I just had it routed over one of the little supports for the step side. Hold on. Little lightheaded. All right. Okay. What do we got over here? right. So far, so clear. You still with me? All right. Let's see. Now, by all means, if this was like a pristine vehicle with nice paint, I would definitely have some other people grabbing it and guiding it off. I think we're clear. Pardon me. Walking in front of you. That same vent hose got looped on there again. There we go. Filler neck out of the way. Well, now I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with it. But this will give us what are you guys looking at? More access to that. That's what's holding the rear bumper on that I couldn't really get to. And then a lot of this frame rod over here, maybe I could score some rear bumper supports, you know, but this would be a good time to clean up the frame. All right, let's get the fuel cap back on, and I'm going to go figure out what to do with the tailgate, the box, not the tail. I already took the tailgate off, lighten up the load. All right, you know what? I'm just going to put it back on because I can't really do anything with it. And yeah. All right. Okay, I heard a beep. I thought you guys shut off. All right. Really, the biggest concern is making sure that that filler neck is out of the way. kind of let it come down on its own and was able to, you know, push down on the backside, right? Put a little weight back here and kind of tilt it. So it's not that hard to do by yourself. All right, I guess we'll come back at it when we got more time. All right, let's get back to working on this. So this is what I come out to. Crank no start. So like running through all these scenarios, what could have been, you know, did I pop a fuse? Does this little module in the back that controls the lights, is that where the fuel system hooks up to also? But I remember when I disconnected the ground strap, the fuel pump ground shares the same ground, but it was hidden behind the support. In a way, I took it off. I wasn't facing the other way to see that there was another ground sharing that. So then I was like, well, maybe there is another wire, and sure enough, it ended up being the fuel pump shares the same ground, and I'm going to clean that up because that connector does look a little bit rusted, but we'll address that with the bed off. So here I am, I'm going through all these scenarios. I thought it was going to be the cam sensor, you know, and I couldn't hear the fuel pump when I was turning the key on and all that. But you know, I'm like, oh man, I can still work on the truck no matter where it's at. Problem is, my air isn't going to reach out here. I don't have that many hoses for the air to reach, and I really wanted to use a air chisel today to help with some of the pinch welds. So we get this ground to the fuel pump hooked back up. Let's get the a little bit another snug there. Okay. And it is absolutely wonderful outside. We cycled the key. Boom, starts right up. All right, let's get this thing moved to the front of the garage and we'll start doing what we need to do. All right, we're gonna get this sill plate molding out of the way. Just lift up on it gently. There we go. And then we'll get this weather stripping out of the way. And it looks like we're gonna have to do some stuff over here to get this trim out of the way. All right. All right, this bottom seatbelt attachment's going to have to come off, and then I'm pretty sure you see how that just pulls off. And then we're going to have to take this upper one out of the way, and we're going to end up doing the headliner in the future also. All right, so we got to pretty much take the seatbelt off to get this trim out of the way. All right, we're going to take the back seat out to give us better access to some of the trim back here. So basically all I did was, once you get the bottom fasteners out, 2 on each side, some of them have a metal cable that mounts in the middle. But then you just lift it up, all right? Lift it up past these hooks. So now we got more access to this back trim here. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna keep driving on. All right, we got the back seat out. We got the trim piece off. Not a single metal clip came off with the trim, so we got to dig those out. But now we're able to lift this weather stripping out of the way to give us access to the pinch weld. We're just going to move this part. Well, we don't even need to take that stuff out. All right. You can lift the track up and out of the way. And that'll give us access to all the pinch welds and the spot welds and whatever. So, all right. I'm thinking about maybe removing the front seat. You know, I'm pulling the carpet. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out. But, yeah, I guess we can lift this up out of the way. All right, we're going to pop these doors off and get back to it. All right, now we got most of the tension off of the ratchet straps. We can focus our attention to the cab corner and the other thing. So this is where we're at. You see, it gives us some access to some pinch welds. I'll go get the other cab corner and we can compare and see where we need to cut. All right, so it looks like we gotta get rid of some of this. That's where we're at. And then on the other side, there's some seam sealer in here. Okay. Yeah, we have somewhat of a outline. There's some spot welds right there. All right, but now we got better access. And we can go get the other outer rocker panel tube and all that, but in due time. So let's start taking care of these pinch welds. Now, I'd really like to get this cab corner off first. So we'll get this seam sealer or whatever stuff that's covering the seam off somehow. There we go. I mean, it'll probably be easier to do with sanding it off, but I don't want to get that stuff all over the place. I'll just slice it up some. Maybe hit it with a gasket scraper. Right, we don't have to go up too high. And we'll see, we'll just cut off a little bit at a time and assess how far the rot goes. All right, I'm going to continue to do that, and then we'll come back once we get a clean surface. Yeah, I'll show you that. It's coming off pretty easy. All right, I got a chisel we could use. I got brand new drill bits. Which makes the job go so much easier. I changed the profile on one of the chisels for the air hammer to make it thinner so it doesn't disrupt the surface too bad. And then we're just going to go through and try to find out where all the spot welds are and drill them out. And then I'll probably cut this corner off right here to kind of give us more access to the outer rocker panel. We got everything all taped up and sealed. We're going to start grinding. What I'm going to do is expose this cab corner and then start removing the outer rocker, which will give us access to the intermediate rocker and the inner rocker. All right, we got our cuts, initial cuts. Then I'm going to get underneath with the air chisel and try to separate the outer from the inner and all that stuff. Well, let's see what we got for the cab corner. All right, I still got to air chisel that out. And we exposed part of the outer. All right, so we can probably come up here just a little bit more to give us more profile, because I'll probably take it up to here. So we'll remove just a little bit more of this, but we can get that later. I'm going to air chisel this stuff off. All right, not bad. See, this is that intermediate rocker, right? The intermediate structure. We did cause a little bit of damage over here that we can knock back out straight. We'll get a straight edge on that and pound that back out. But we'll cut this as close as possible. That way we keep the same thickness at the pinch weld to get rid of this intermediate rocker, and then we'll get more access to the lower. We still got to get rid of this. I'm going to cut this up higher and mess around with that. But I think this is the profile I'm going to keep for up front. It looks really good. It's hardly, you know, just a little bit of surface rust. And then we'll repair that. But yeah, coming along pretty good. I should have, I had that air chisel sitting in my toolbox, right? And that was like the first video. I'm sitting here using a hammer and a chisel, just wearing myself out. That was so much easier. So, all right, we'll go back through and grind this intermediate rocker out of the way and keep driving on. All right, so this is the intermediate that wraps around and connects with the inner. And then the outer connects to this intermediate in this area. So I gotta look, well, let me go get it, stand by. Yeah, that's not gonna... All right, let's get the cab corner. All right. So the cab corner's going to cover this area. All right. So we can clean this up. And be careful with this. We're gonna have to spot weld that back on, part of the back of the cab. We need to get this foam out so when we're welding it doesn't catch on fire. All right, So we can just flap attack this. I'll probably cut this area off. And then that way we have some structure to mount the outer rocker. All right, so we'll remove some of these spot welds. Okay, all right. So if you can, try to maintain the intermediate rocker towards the rear. So we got some good material to weld to. Same with underneath. All right. Okay, so we got to remove the outer rocker from the intermediate towards the bottom. So I got some more spot welds to head up, and then we can move on to getting rid of some of the inner. Wow, why am I having a difficult time trying to remember the name of these parts? Maybe I gotta drink water. But all right, so I got some more drilling and I got some more grinding to do, and I'll get you guys caught up to what's going on. All right, so there's more spot welds on this inner that we got to take care of. And that way we can get the whole thing out. All right, so I think that's a good place to stop. And I got plenty enough sheet metal to repair this support. So we'll see how that goes. All we got to do now is get the inner panel trimmed to fit. I'll maybe use the flanging tool because I got the hole cutter, the punch and flange tool. So maybe we can, you know, do some overlap. We got some reference parts, reference spots on the inners. We're not worried about the intermediate, although we did keep a majority of the intermediate intermediate rocker to fill in a gap around the cab corner. All right, we kept this so that way we don't have a big gap. We got to cut our outer rocker to fit. And we have some reference areas to line up. And we'll go through and we'll use a little sanding wheel to clean up this area. But I think that's a good stopping point. So, all right, thanks for watching. ELH4X4 doing stuff. 2000 Silverado inner and outer rocker prep. See you at the next one.